Serious question. Why do women desire to be married? I really want to know. Oftentimes over the airways, we will hear about how men are choosing not to get married, how men do not want that legal paperwork that could cause them to lose financially half of everything that they own at max and sometimes even more. But women are pushing for this status in order to get married. Is it simply the status of being married? Because ladies, what do we hear from a lot of women nowadays? A lot of the airwaves are filled with women who are saying that I am a strong, independent woman. I do not need another man for his finances. Yet, you want to have that piece of paper so that if he leaves you, if the relationship doesn't work, you have the accessibility to be able to take half his stuff and or gain child support from him. Now, you should realize that as today's world is going, men have the same opportunity. It is less likely that because of our cultural norms that a man would then try to attack the finances of a woman unless that is his goal. But for most men, it is not a thought that we have. We look at marriage certificates as pretty much a legal contract that gives you privileges to take half our shit. But women, you're strong, you're independent, you're financially able to do things on your own. So why are so many women caught up with the idea that if I marry a man, he must be a provider, he must make the money, he must be the breadwinner? You're able to do it by yourself. So why would you put yourself in a situation where the man would actually legally have access to your finances as well? Because judges are more and more being fair when it comes to that situation. Now, women, you also, as far as if your answer is because you want to have a family, have children, women don't need a man to have a child. You need a man's sperm, but you do not need a marriage in order to have a child. You could just as easily go to a sperm bank and get the best sperm that they have at their bank. Now, there's a lot of medical situations you have to go through, and maybe that's why you want to do it the natural way. But in order to have children and raise children, a woman doesn't necessarily need a man to do so. Now, is that the best environment situation for the child? Most psychologists and sociologists will say no, it is not. But the true facts are a woman doesn't need a man in order to have children. So why are women the ones pressuring men to get married? Now, the last part. What I see over the airways a lot, and a lot of women in the comments of other videos have expressed how all men cheat or have the propensity to cheat. Now, we do see that more and more women are having side men as well as men having side chicks. But here's the thing. Most of the time, no one wants to be cheated on. But women have a tendency to think that all men cheat. So if you think that, if you believe that, why would you ever engage in a marriage, putting yourself in a situation where you give someone your trust and then that person cheats on you and then breaks up your trust and causes you a whole bunch of emotional baggage? You have all your girlfriends, so you have companionship. You can have this guy who you go to the movies with, this guy who you go and travel with, this guy that you sit home and chill with. So why do you actually need a man in order to have companionship? You really don't. But yet, as I said earlier, the pressure of getting the marriage certificate is not being brought on by most men. The pressure of having a marriage certificate is brought on by most women. So is the only reason that women get married to men is simply so that they can either one, have status, or two, have a financial come up? I'm really curious and want to know the answer to this, or not the answer, but your thoughts on this, because that is the situation that we hear a lot about. Now, personally, I don't think marriage has anything to do with a piece of paper. I think marriage is the commitment that two people make between each other, and that they try to keep that commitment for as long as they possibly can by ensuring that they protect their relationship and that they grow together. And that when they do decide that they're going to produce children, that the intent is to raise those children to have a better life than they had. And also to have the fulfillment of having a family. That's my perspective on marriage. I don't push for marriage as far as paperwork, but I do push for it as far as the commitment that two people may have towards one another. But many women, they push for the contract where men don't. Why do you push for the contract? Is it a status that's based on our cultural norms, and that is the only way that you can envision marriage? But with everything it brings, why do you even bother? Why do you push so hard? There's another study that shows that the most bored and lonely people in a marriage are women. So if more women are bored and lonely in a marriage, why do you push for marriage? Is it simply the status or the financial come up? I'm really interested in hearing your comments. Always remember, you have to free yourself to be yourself because your greatness is non-negotiable. Good journey, good vibrations.